Just, all right, done. Breaking those balls and done.
Yes, buddy! You're a legend!
Well done.
So my debrief from Kosci 50, we headed down from Sydney to Kosciuszko last week to run the Kosci 50. I originally had entered the 100. After finishing dead last in UTA 100, I felt like I needed to give that distance another go. However, life happened. We were moving house, which took me out for a couple of weekends. And also I was away for work and just life happened. So my training tanked quite a lot actually. So I decided at the last minute to downgrade into the 50, which was perfect for me. Chris, my husband, was already doing the 50 and so was a girlfriend of mine, Michelle. So I had company doing the 50, which felt a lot better for me than and trying to struggle doing the 100 after not getting enough training in. So my epic journey, wow. So it was freezing on the start line. We were beanie and gloves kind of cold, but it was a beautiful day. A stunning clear blue sky. It was just really cold. And so that very, very first kilometre, I was so out of breath. I really, really was questioning my life choices. I couldn't breathe, so I don't know whether I just started off too quickly out of that starter's chute or whether it was the altitude, I don't know, but I was really having a lot of trouble breathing in that first kilometre. So, but anyway, with that first 5Ks, the Kosci 50, you sort of double back on each other, go around sort of in a bit of a loop. So I was just keeping an eye out. My girlfriend was in the wave in front of me, so high-fived her on the way through, and Chris was in the wave behind me, so I had a bit of a 12-minute head start on him. So I was trying to maintain that little bit of a head start because he's quite a bit faster than me. So I got to the Bullocks Flat checkpoint. It felt really, really good. I'd seen Chris just behind me on the overhead bridge, so I knew he was only a minute or two behind me at that point. So we caught up with each other at that checkpoint, refilled water, and then went to the bathroom, but didn't stay too long in that checkpoint. From Bullocks Flat to Ngarago was probably my favourite section. It's mostly downhill, and Chris did surge ahead of me a little bit, so I was on my own for a while. But again, caught up with him at Ngarago, where he was just going through his pack, making sure he had enough food and water and all that sort of thing. So we again left Ngarago campground together. Also, my friend Michelle caught up with us as well. And then headed to Village Green, I think was the next checkpoint. We had a lot of the 30Ks in this section catching up to us, especially those front runners. So there was a lot of people running past, which is always not so good for the ego. Then got to the Village Green. So that's where Michelle decided to pull out. I guess she knew what was coming. She'd done the next section before, whereas Chris and I were totally ignorant. We'd heard things about Dead Horse Gap, but at the end of the day, you just figure how hard could it be. We'd done a really good time into Village Green. I think we'd done that in 7 hours, so that was 40 Ks in 7 hours. So we're sort of really well ahead of cut-off at that point. So we headed up to the start of Dead Horse Gap. Chris, who is amazing on the uphills, and I am so bad, he went off ahead. This was the hardest thing, 10 kilometres uphill. The stairs were gigantic. I have no idea how people can run up that section. It's really tough. About halfway up, I ended up putting on my thermal top because it started getting really cold and you could start seeing more and more snow. So then just a couple of kilometers before the Eagle Nest checkpoint, there was actually snow on the ground, and they'd carved a path. So the race organisers had carved a path across it. The guy in front of me was actually using poles and had fallen over. So I was very, very slowly walking across. It was almost like ice, because there'd been like, I don't know, probably 300 or 400 runners in front of me go through that section. So it was a little bit slushy, wet, and very, very slippery. So at that point, Chris messaged me saying he was already at Eagle's Nest. I thought I was only about 700 meters, so I asked him to wait. Then I realized going around a corner that we were going the long way around to the checkpoint. So told him to keep going, not to wait too long at that checkpoint. So I got into Eagle's Nest. I tried to put on some gloves because my hands were freezing. I couldn't get them on because my hands had swollen up that much. So I put my beanie on, put my hat and glasses in the back of my pack, and headed off. The last 4 kilometers downhill were torture. The stairs were so big that, you know, I was stepping down and it was jolting my ankles. The pain in my ankles was excruciating just from jolting down each step, because it was a little bit of a jump for me, having such short legs. Anyway, got it done. That last push down the 200 meters of that ski slope down to the finish line was the absolute best. Having Chris and Michelle waiting for me at the finish line was so awesome, cheering me in. And to have it get it done in 12 hours, to me, who's normally dead last, to have an hour and a half up my sleeve at the finish was really great. I really enjoyed it. It was tough. The last 14Ks, I won't lie, it was really super tough. But the joy of finishing was all the better. So we headed up back to our chalet and enjoyed dinner and a well-deserved rest. So that was awesome. Well, thank you for listening to my debrief on Kosci. I'll just let you know here that I am going to be doing the UTA Miler. So I will tell you a bit more in my next video about what's coming up with that. Thank you for joining me. If you have any comments or suggestions for what you want to hear me talk about with my trail running journey, let me know. Thank you.